This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by SupportYourApp. Focus on growth. Build your customer support the smart way. SupportYourApp specializes in supporting Mac and iOS apps since 2011. Scale smarter. Leverage a remote support team with SupportYourApp at SupportYourApp.com. MacVoices is in San Jose for AltConf and WWDC. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we're here with another one of the AltConf sponsors. This is Anna Mita of IBM to tell us what they're doing at a Mac and Apple development conference. Anna Mita, it's great to see you.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
So, as I said, what's IBM doing here?
So IBM has made a large focus in the past couple of years on developers. This includes all developers around the world. And Mac and iOS developers has been a focus of ours for the last couple of years. We've launched a handful of tools for developers that are building on iOS where they can actually enhance what they're building with AI, specifically AI built with Watson.
Okay. Watson seems to be getting a lot of play, a lot of different places.
Oh yeah, so Watson, a lot of people, when they think of IBM and Watson, they think of this massive entity that you can talk to, a supercomputer. What Watson actually is it's a series of APIs that any developer can connect to augment what they're building, to make it more intelligent, faster, stronger, if you will.
Okay, so they're tapping into your system, so there has to be a cost associated with that, or maybe a permissions issue associated with that. How does that work?
So depending on what the iOS developer is building, they're able to tap into different Watson services that have different provisions for that. So if you're creating a chatbot that's intelligent, that taps into Watson Assistant, then it's done on a per-call basis, whereas if you're using visual recognition and ARKit and iOS to take pictures to do object identification, that's another different service through Watson Visual Recognition that you would use.
Okay. Yeah, I know this year at NAB I talked to some folks who are doing transcription, and they're using the Watson service, and they were explaining how they were hooking into it and how it works. So, but I didn't realize that you had that service for this kind of coding.
Correct, yeah. We also have, a couple years ago we launched something called Kitura, which is a server-side framework that a lot of iOS developers are using when they're building in Swift.
Okay. So if I'm a developer and I want to tap into some of this, am I doing it on a am I subscribing to it? Am I passing it on through to the customer? Can I pass it on to the customer? How does that work?
Yeah, so to start, any developer that's interested can go to developer.ibm.com, and they're able to see all of the code that we've open sourced. So anything that you want to build, you can go in and see how others have built it and use that as a foundational model to build whatever you want. From there, depending on your use case and what you want to do, we'll meet you halfway. So if you want to build something that you're going to source out to your customers, we can talk about it. If you want to build something for yourself, you can do it self-serve on the platform. And if you need to do something beyond what we have, that's when you'll engage someone from the IBM side to help.
I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I think anytime you hear Watson, you think of the commercials you see on TV, and you're right, you see this big building-sized machine in your head, and it really isn't that, especially when it comes to access to it for developers.
Correct, yeah. Like, I open every conversation I do when people ask about Watson with the sentence, "It's more than Jeopardy," because it is.
Well, I knew that part, but I think just Watson, there's a certain intimidation factor, at least at the moment, with that kind of AI.
Yeah. So again, if you go to developer.ibm.com, specifically if you go to /code, we have a couple of one-stop shop clicks where you could just do deploy to IBM Cloud, and once you do that, you have everything provisioned for you. So it's not 20 steps to get you to where you need. You can do it in a couple of steps. You just need an IBM Cloud account to get started.
So I've been asking all the sponsors this because I think it's great that you're here supporting AltConf. Obviously, you're here to connect with developers, but what is it about AltConf that is special enough to make you come and be here for the week and hang out and talk to these people?
Yeah, great question. I think there's a couple of reasons. One is developers are the future. I think developers are making a lot of business decisions, or the decision makers at a lot of companies. We're moving towards an economy where there's tech involved in everything. So being able to invest in these developers early on is important. The second is IBM cares about developers. So while we're out here, we're hosting a lot of different workshops and labs. We have a lot of talks that are happening where we're, one, evangelizing what we're building and sharing what IBM is and everything that you can do with Watson, but also learning what the developer wants and learning the pain points from them. So when we do these hands-on workshops, we understand where people are failing, where people are confused, or where people are excited. And that allows us to go back when we're building our product and actually create something that developers will love.
I love that you're not just here preaching, but you're also taking the feedback. And that's what this conference is really about, and it works so well.
And what's awesome about this community is that it's ever evolving. Like 4 years ago is when Swift came about, right? Like you see job descriptions of 5 years of Swift experience. No one has that because it didn't exist. So since it's such a fast-paced, evolving community, everyone kind of has this, we're all in this together feeling. So especially at AltConf and WWDC, when you're here, everyone's helping each other out, everyone's excited about different things, and they all work together. So just being in this community of people that want to help each other out to really enhance everyone is kind of empowering as a developer. And also as IBM to be here.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that I don't think people understand about this. This is a developer community, and you see, sure, there's some friendly competition, but you don't hear nasty stories about somebody, trying to steal something from somebody else or whatever. They're always saying, in fact, I just was participating in a conversation earlier about, hey, did you talk to so-and-so? Well, no, he couldn't help me, but okay, maybe this person can.
Yeah.
That's going on all the time here.
Yeah, and I think the Apple developer community is pretty tight-knit. Like, people come here to almost see people once a year because they talk to each other all the time, and it's just almost like a summer camp for adults. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, even again, we've made this point that people come here from all over the world, and they don't have a ticket to the conference. Right. But they come for AltConf, they come for layers, they come for everything that's going on around it, or maybe just to hang out, like you said, with friends.
Right, yeah, and this conference in particular, I've noticed a lot more students. So it's also been interesting to talk to students from Brazil and other parts of the world that don't necessarily know what IBM is doing. So we're able to kind of share everything we have to the next generation and also the next generation around the world.
One more time, the website where folks can go to learn more about all of IBM's initiatives.
developer.ibm.com/code.
Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Folks, we'll have more from AltConf and WWDC in San Jose. I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.